All right, pages 3 and 4 of the review. So again, I'm going to not write all the answers so that people have to actually listen to this to get the answers from here, okay? So the height of the football kicked into the air is given by the function h equals negative 16t squared plus 48t. H is the height of the ball in feet, and t is the time in seconds. So according to the graph, for how many seconds is the ball in the air? Well, we're going to take a look here. And it starts here at 0, and it goes up in the air, and it comes back down, and it lands at 3. So it's in the air for 3 seconds. So you'll have to write that down. During which time is the ball descending? So it's descending from, it went up to here, and then it started going down. So it's descending from 1.5 to 3. So you would write descending from 1.5 to 3. So how many seconds is the ball, after how many seconds is the ball at a height of exactly 20 feet? Now remember, 20 feet is there at 0.5, but it's also there at 2.5. So it would be at 0.5 and 2.5. All right. We don't need a calculator for this one either. They did the graph for us. The graph of y equals x squared minus 8x plus 7 is shown right here. How are the solutions of x squared minus 8x plus 7 equals 0 related to this graph? Well, they are going to be the x-intercepts, or the zeros, of the graph. So they're the x-intercepts, or the zeros, of the graph, and those would be also our solutions, 1 and 7. All right, so if the table shown represents the function y equals x squared plus 10x plus 25, which of the following is a solution of this equation? So it's going to be where y equals 0. So y equals 0 there, where x is negative 5. I would want you to circle that on the answers. All right, for number 14, a rectangular quilt has a length of 3 feet longer than twice its width. Okay, so I'm going to draw this. I hate trying to do these things without drawing them. Its width is W, and it's 3 feet longer than twice its width. So if the expression W times 2W plus 3 represents the area of the quilt, what's the width of a quilt whose area is 44 feet? So all we have to do is we have to set this W times 2W plus 3 equals 44. Okay, so how would we solve this on the calculator? We just put this in Y1 and this in Y2. So when y equals, we would go, and remember we have to use x, no matter what variable's in the equation. X is the only thing the calculator understands. 44, and we look at our graph now. It's not going to be on our graph because it's going to be up top. If we want to, we could go window and see this by putting in like 45 or 46 or something. But we don't really need to solve it. All we're going to do is go into our table and see if they gave us one that came out evenly. Remember, we don't want negative width, so we're only going to look at the positive ones. So, good, it does come out evenly, so it's where x, or W, is 4. So the answer would be the width is 4. And I'm not going to write that down for those who are just watching and not listening. All right, last two. Quadratic formula to solve the following equations. Now, we did not do a lot of work with the quadratic equation, just because we did it on the calculator, which is all right. I mean, we went over the worksheet, but I think most of us just practiced on the calculator more than anything. So we would put this part in Y1 and 0 in Y2. And we would graph it. Oh, our graph is funny. Zoom Standard is 6. All right, so these look like they're decimals, so we're going to have to do the second, calculate. 5 is the intersection. Enter, enter, enter. And that's 0.72, or 0.772. And our other answer, second, calculate, intersection. Remember, we got to move that little dot over to the other side. Or it's just going to give us the same answer again. Enter, enter, enter. Oops. I messed up. When you mess up, you have to I wonder what happens. Ah, well, that's interesting. I wonder if that works. Enter, second, calculate, intersection, and we have to move this over. And enter, enter, enter. And the answer is negative 7.77. If we were doing it with the quadratic equation, remember we would do A is 1, B is 7, and C is negative 6. And we would use our formula, so minus B, this would be on your formula chart, plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times whatever A is and whatever C is, and all over 2 times whatever A is. So I always do this first, and I would have 7 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 6. So minus 7 plus and minus the square root of 73 all over 2. So I would just put in the calculator minus 7 plus the square root of 73, enter, and divide by 2. Then minus 7 minus the square root of 73, enter, divide by 2, and I would get those same answers. All right, on this next one, I'm going to let you work it, but I'll help you set it up. Remember, if we were going to do this with quadratic formula, we'd have to get this equal to 0. So we'd have to add plus 5x to both sides. And we'd get 3x squared plus 5x minus 4 equals 0. Our A would be 3, our B would be 5, and our C would be negative 4. So our formula would be minus B plus and minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C all over 2 times A. I put that in the calculator. So I'd do minus 5. I'm sorry, I wouldn't do that. I would do 5 squared minus 4 times 3 times negative 4. And that happens to be 73 again, so I go minus 5 plus and minus the square root of 73 all over 6. So we could do it that way, or we could just take this and put this in y1 and put this in y2. And frankly, I think that's just as easy. We're going to do 3x squared minus 4, put that in y1, and then put this in y2, minus 5x. And we're looking for these two intersections, that one and that one. So we go second, calculate, intersection, enter, 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 and that would give us one answer. And then our other one, I'm going to let you do. So you would do, plug all that in, put this in y1, this in y2. I'm sure you haven't done it. So you can either figure it out from this, or you can figure it out from entering this in. Second, calculate, intersection, and just remember we need to get over closer to this other one. Enter, enter, and one more time enter, and it will give you the answer. So I'll leave that for you to do. All right, that's the end of this.